Everyone, it's Nick here from Turnip Starfish, back for a bit more drawing for 2019. I've got a A4 document at 300 dpi, nothing new there. And today I'm doing a female character. I printed off a photograph from the interweb and I'm working off that. So it's a photograph of a real person and I'm kind of cartooning it. That's the plan. Let's see how it goes. I'm using the basic body blocks that we always use in our classes. So I'm putting in the upper torso, and I've got this rhythm from the head down through the neck at a diagonal motion. And then I've got the lower torso, and I'm going to put a little bit of shape on this. I'm going to cartoon this. She's got a weight over onto this side, and she's got this like wicked curve here, and she drops down here as my motion. So that's kind of cool. I'm liking that. Let's drop in a foot shape for now. Hopefully I've got these leg lengths right. It's quite common for me to change them later, so we'll see. You can see the basic shapes I'm using for feet front on if you struggle with that. Right, let's put some tubes in on the legs here, a little bit wider at the top of the thigh. She's got kind of dungarees on, they look fab. So we're seeing a nice bit of shape through here. We got a bit of shape around the calf, down, and we're seeing a little bit of calf on the other side. Okay, gonna thin out a little bit here. Okay, and we've got the other thigh. Something like this. Again, wider at the top of the thigh. Oops. Not sure what that was. Wider at the top of the thigh. Just suggesting the knee. A little bit of that calf. Dropping down. Calf on the other side. Something like that, yeah. The legs looking a little longer at the moment. I'm going to pull that back in slightly. I might tweak this shape now. Alright, so I'm just going to edit, transform. I'm going to skew this. I did this the other day in one of our other drawings as well. I'm going to pull her weight a little bit like that. I'm going to enter that, but I'm going to edit, transform, and scale it a bit, I think. I'm going to hold shift down and want a bit more leg length on the leg. So actually I'm going to lasso tool this lower torso, and I'm going to transform it. I just shortcut. Did a shortcut on a transform there and create a little bit more length. Oops. I duplicated it. What have I done? So I created a selection area, right? Let's try that again, shall we? Let's do it that way. Edit, transform, scale. My shortcut must be rusty. Oops. Hold down shift, get a little bit more length on that leg. That's better. Control D to deselect. That's a little bit more length than that. I think that's better. Right. In fact, in the end, I don't like that leg, so I'm just going to pull it out a sec. So I'm just going to pull that out. I liked my line of action, I think. I didn't like the way I drew that. So there's a straighter motion here. So it kind of comes... Sorry, my Cinti was catching up there. Just does that occasionally. And then add a little bit more, something like this. Cool, I think I prefer that. That's good. Just getting it right for a moment. finding, so I'm just shifting the angles on this one as well. Something like that. That's better. Right. Look at the trapezius. Going to roll the trapezius through. And this arm is, she's got a deltoid, a shoulder muscle in here, and the arm drops down. It's got a kind of classic kind of fashion pose, and the hand is in here. Just tucked down, I drop a finger in. Okay, be a little bit more subtle now. And she's popping this shoulder up. Okay. And down here, and then the lower arm drops around the figure. Get some of these angles working. And the hand drops into a pocket, so I'm just making sure I'm clear about that. We'll come back to that later. If I imagine that across there, just gonna make sure I've got enough length on this. I've got a lot of foreshortening on this arm, so I'm going to just pull that around slightly. So something like this. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's just keep this, yeah, nice and rough in here. The eye's about halfway, just generic measurements for the moment. Something like this. She's got a baseball cap on. Which is kind of cool. Just pulling it over to one side. You've got that kind of flat form. And then she's got some hair tucking over onto one side. So I'm just giving that volume on that hair. And the rest comes out of the hat. And then you get the volume, the spill of the hair. Just just sitting down like this, something like that. That's it. That's my main little drawing. Fairly happy with that. I think I could get a little bit more shape on this. Maybe, you know, to stylize it a bit. And dropping out on this side. Right, let's just put a centre line in there to make sure I'm happy with how that's sitting. Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to try a bit more. A little bit more shape. Yeah, great. Cool. Now I've got options now. Obviously I can draw on top of this layer, so quite often I reduce, I could do that today, I'm going to reduce layer 1 opacity, my rough layer. That's what we tend to do in class. And I can draw on top. I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to pull down, and let's start building a little bit of more definition. And maybe we'll zoom in a little bit so I can get the shape of these eyes a bit more. Let's get a little bit of angle on these eyes. I'm going to build onto this. Remember, I'm quite close now. It's quite a big brush, but let's see what I can do. Big. So we're stylizing it a little bit. Okay. Now, if you look at those two eyes, I haven't got those looking in the same direction. That's quite important. It's going to make my image feel a bit off really early on. So let's see if I can tweak that a bit more. So I think I keep sitting this one a bit low. Still using quite a big brush on this. But I've got to remember when I zoom back out, it's going to change everything. You know, that's actually the image out here. So we'll try that for now. I'm sure I'll come back if I'm not convinced. A little bit of suggestion down through here, down through the nose. I'm going to get a little bit of form. I'm going to just suggest that top plane of the nose and underneath them. And I'm twisting this slightly at the moment, so let me just make sure I keep these parallel. She has got a little bit of smile. Okay. And strong cheekbones. Make sure they're about the same length. And down into the chin. Okay, something like this. That's about halfway, so that's about working here. Right, let's just drop in this hat. I'm just going to pull the shape in. Nothing more than this. Just keeping it a nice fluid sketch. Remember, I like to sketch as opposed to going like an Illustrator where I'm being very defined with every line. I'm a bit more. I like the flow of a pencil line. I like the feel of a pencil line and the texture that it creates. That'll be my excuse, should I say? Right, we're gonna pull this head down across here, and we're gonna pull this one down out from the hat. We're gonna get a lot more volume. We'll put a couple of hair strands, not too many, just a suggestion of the flow. Now we're quite long on the neck, but that's okay. It's going to become a style of this drawing, I guess. Right, I need the trapezius, a little bit more trapeziusness, a little bit more curve down through here. She's wearing. Let's go back to this drawing and bring the opacity up on this a bit. She's got. On one, like a strap on one side. It's a pair of dungarees, so she's got like a vest top underneath here, which sits up and down around her form. She's got around the bust, a little bit of shape of bust there. We've got this strap for this cool dungaree that drops down. Actually, it does this with a little button. And it's going to sit across from the other side of the bust, so slightly diagonal. To do with the shoulders, we've got a little bit of shape of the dungarees, and then it drops kind of down towards the waist, and from that button it opens up like this, and it kind of rolls over. So that's kind of cool, something like this. Right, so let's go back in here. Let me just take that down again, back into my other layer. We'll add a bit more for a fine line. Keep that thickness to that strap over the shoulder. I'm just going to draw a little bit of detailing on this coming down into the button. So I've got my little button and a little, I don't know, cage that comes around the button. Down into the deltoid, a little bit wider in the deltoid, lower down there. Keep that soft at the moment. Okay. And then we're gonna roll this. A little suggestion there. This is going to roll down, keeping a little bit of quality of mark. Just a little bit, keeping these curves working. Got the vest top. It's just going to sit up. Down through. Okay, too much line in there. Alright. In that line. Not showing too much through the side there. It'd be very big if you showed a lot on the side. He really pushes his shoulder out, and I've lost that slightly in this drawing. But the drawing's looking okay, so we'll keep working on that. Okay, we need a little bit of suggestion there on the other side of the figure. And we're going to build a little bit more of the dungaree. And it's going to pop out down the form, something like this. A little kind of bit of decoration around that dungaree. So we'll build that because it'll give us a kind of centre line down here in a minute, which will work. Alright, down the forearm, bringing that muscle a little bit low maybe there. So we've got the bicep and the tricep rolling down. You see a little bit of the rotation of that muscle there, or rotation of the form of that muscle. And then come down the forearm. Oops, down the forearm. And I'm breaking into the hand and into the finger there. And I'll come back to that in a minute. Right. She's got some detail like a bracelet, so let's add a little bit of that on here, because that's going to break my wrist, or show where the wrist ends. What's what I mean when I say that. Coming into showing me a bit of hip, down into the bicep. This muscle now sits on top, so I'm going to curve this around into the forearm, down to the wrist. And I'm going to start the thumb a little lower. Get a little bit of shape on there. And a little shape here. I'm going to roll this around the hand. Most of the hand is totally in that pocket. Okay. Got a little bit of hip. Like the hip's up here. So this is where the leg bone comes out of the lower torso and the pelvis. A little bit of motion. I'm going to add a little bit more detail, because on the lower part of the hip there's how the fabric kind of works, the denim works so there's a bit of pattern here. It's almost like a fake opening in the denim down in here. I quite like that. So the pocket there, which gives us the other pocket on the other side. We're going to get a little bit more line detail down in here. So we've got some stretch marks. Down like this. We'll see if we're happy with that now in a sec. So a little bit of shape in here in the crutch. Pulling down. Right, I'm going to zoom out a bit because these need to be more fluid lines, I think. So it needs to feel like one motion coming down. Got a little bit of shape in the material. Coming down the thigh. So just clean that up a bit, because it's about, this kind of works with the and this sits curved around the curved form, and it's got a lower edge like this. And I like to suggest just a little bit of that shape around the knee. Alright. Again, a little bit of shape here. Pulling down to the knee. And pulling out a little bit wide on there. There's a twist on that knee. Let me get a little bit of material shape into the calf, and again we're going to roll this around, keep that curved around the leg. We get a little bit of material fold down here, so we come down into the ankle. There is a black there's a strap, cool kind of strap on this ankle, and a very simple shoe. So it's just really sitting over the toe. So I'm just keeping the shape. I might need to add a little bit more shape on that, so something like that. There's a little bit of more variety on this side, on that curve. So come down into the thin ankle, and again, just really over the toe. So a lot of the rest of the shoe is hidden. Well, it's a little bit scrappy, this one. It's me searching for the shape. Okay, that's actually our drawing. Cool. I used the basic body blocks, build it up, and that's what we've come up with. Got the, what am I doing here? This is the dungaree, is it? And it pops in. Should get too thin in there. So I've stylized that. Got my negative shape. I think you're going to need a little bit more shaping in there. It's going to get too thin at the waist. So that's the inside of the arm. Sorry, just when I'm looking back at it. That's fine. Well, that's cool. We haven't spent that long on this yet, so let's just put in some flat colours and see where it takes us for today. So we're going to pick a skin colour, a little bit warmer than that. Let's try this for today. Slightly bigger brush. Not picking the colour for my eraser, sorry. There, let's put this one down. Let's see where this takes us. If I need to change it, I'll change it in a minute. It's going to put flats down. I'm pressing quite hard because remember I got the flow on this brush. So by pushing quite hard and getting a more full colour, more towards 100% colour. Alright. Just dropping in there. I'm going to colour over some of this in a minute, so I'm not too worried about the internal lines. I want to keep to the edge. I don't spend hours erasing this. A little bit more careful on the edge. If you're tuning off now because you're just watching the drawing, I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to check out our workshops at turnipstarfish.co.uk. If you're just hanging around for this fun a bit, awesome. I'll try and do as quick as I can because I know that it's not always entertaining watching someone just colour something in, unless you're doing other things at the same time, kind of switching off. Just drop that one in, and we'll drop this one in. Something like that. That's kind of working. Oh, we need to do the hand, don't I? Might just drop the flats in first and then come back to what I'm going to do with the rest of the colours. Right, I could use this up here, I suppose. I've got a habit of always picking the colour picker there. You've got kind of dungarees, kind of old, say old, is it? Are they 90s, 90s, kind of washed out, light blue dungarees. Oh, I quite like it when I get a little bit grey into it. I'll try this actually. Before I go much further as well, I'm going to unlock the background. Most of you know that I quite often will do this. Just take it off that white, grab my bucket tool. I'm painting on something a little bit different. I'm just going to lock that again, come back to my colour layer. Make sure I'm right there. So we'll see how this sits now. This works as a base colour because I can put some darker values on this, colours, tones. In a minute. It gives me something to work with. Remember, don't use a tiny brush for this. Is actually quite a small brush for this. Don't use a tiny brush when you're colouring a big area. There's no point, just make your brush bigger. So sometimes people in my class spend hours, if I don't catch them, colouring in a really big area with a tiny brush, and it's a bit like, you don't need to do that, just get a bigger brush. Let's get on to the detail, the more fun. Again, pressing quite hard because I've got the flow on. I've got my flow and that pressure sensitivity. So if I press lighter, the colour will be less solid. It'll be a little bit transparent, which is good when I'm mixing colours later on. Right. Kind of works. Yeah, no worries. Right, vest top is white, but I'm just putting a little bit of yellow into it, which sounds weird. Well, it doesn't sound weird to me. That I just wanted a little bit of colour into it here, and I'm going to put the same on the shoe actually, just to so I'm not picking too many new colours all the time, just making it sit. Right, like that. I'm going to put the same on these bands. She's got a white hat, but I'm going to put the same. She's got a white and black hat actually, so I'm going to do that in a minute, but I'll put a base colour in. Need some colour hair colour, hair colour. She's blonde brunette in this, so let's see what. I'm going to put a darker colour down to start with. Always end up going towards a redhead. Let's start in here. It's a little bit red, isn't it? It's very. Let's put these in for our darker values, and then we'll lighten it up, kind of highlight it up. I think. See how that works today. Dropping this in. Dropping in down here. There we are. Cool, there's our general figure. Great. So we can stay on the hair. Let's get a little bit of shadow colour into that hair. I'm gonna okay, that was my hair, wasn't it? I'm gonna yeah, just gonna try this sec. So there's a little bit of colour in the shadows. I didn't want to go straight to like a dark brown. That value is quite light though. I should use this more, I think. That's a better value. It's darker. So I quite like the colour I created, but it wasn't a dark enough value. It's basically bringing it forward. That lighter colour was bringing it forward, and I needed this to drop back. Get a little bit more red in there. See where we're coming. Okay. So as I build this, I should keep these lines in the direction of the hair. I would probably need to get a thinner brush in a minute just to get some bit more detail on this. So I'm now going to pick this lightest colour I've got. So So it's like I'm painting a few of the strands just to make this pop out a bit more. Here, and I'm gonna, this seems to be my lighter zone, so I'm just gonna put a few of these, a few more of these lines in. I decide whether I was taking this little dark outline is quite harsh. Decide if I was doing anything about that, but seem to be keeping it today. Let's mix. Let's not do a bigger brush. I'm just going to colour pick this mix and see where we've ended up. I'll grab this actually. Better. We go over this again. See if I can. That's better. I want to darken that. I'm going to have a little bit of this green in. I want to darken this value. Not happy with my mixing today. That's better, I think. Let's try this. A little bit of shadow down into the eyes. We've got a strong cheek. Underneath the lip. This side of the nose wall. We'll put a little bit under the eye here, like just to build that form, like the eyeliner. Have a little bit of cast shadow. Cast shadow under the neck here. Just doing this quite quickly. Gonna lighten down into the chin a little bit here. Then you'd have the collarbone down in here. Gonna need some drop shadows. Okay, from this strap around this muscle. We'll soften this in a minute. Okay, I guess on this side we would have some as well, something like this. And a lot of this would be in shadow. So this side we're going to have a little bit down on here, around that muscle, on the other side of the arm, as this arm rolls around the figure. And I've got to remember, I'm showing some skin down here. Oops. Keep this fairly basic, comes around the ankle, around the foot. So drop shadows, mainly drop shadows, and just a little bit of form, shape down on this. That's fine. If I want to mix that out a bit now, so I'm going to come in here, I'm going to, I think we've got a mid value there, just mixed it. Pick this one and come on top. I've got a mix, got a mid value, so I can soften between the two. So it's not such a harsh line. Lead a little bit in places. Here we need some. Really quickly just softening those shapes out. This car shadow, it can be fairly sharp on the car shadow. This is more of a around the form. So I want to soften there. Right, because remember when I pull out, I'm like this. Okay, let's get some highlights on the skin. Working quite quickly now. Where's my eye picker? Hang on. We can do this. It's quite bold, this, but Just a little bit light and void of colour, really. She is fair skinned, but probably too much. A little bit on the temple, across the flat of the hand, a little bit down the leg. Let's soften some of this out. Try and get rid of the patchiness of it, I guess. Right, that's looking okay for that. I want a darker. Pull a little bit. To frame the head a bit, I kind of feel like I want a little bit of a darker brown in there, just to frame that head a bit. While I've got that, I'm probably going to want to darken. Ooh, let's get a smaller brush. Let's make that brush, whoops, wrong way. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Come right down. Let's pick this black. Let's put the pupil in. And let's build these eyes. Building the eye makeup up, basically. Okay, let's get my lightest value. Pull in. Let's grab this hat colour. I need a shine on this. Like that. Okay. Okay, hopefully that kind of works, quite natural looking. Right, quickly now, let's darken down in here. And we'll make this bigger. And we'll just work quite quickly now, I think. And a little bit of drop shadow here. Put a little bit of form shape. The rib will be here. You're gonna get a bit of rounding. Probably important the direction my mark making helps with the volume in some of this. You would, there's a muscle there. Not sure I'm going to see that much of that. But let me just drop that shape down. Under the knee. So again, this is the stage where it looks like it's quite patchy at the moment, but I know that I'm going to go back and blend it more on this calf muscle down into here, just dropping some of that form in. Okay, so we might get a little bit of shadow. It's pretty basic. It's fine. So I'm now going to mix between these a bit. So I'm going to pick this light colour and mix over and pick this new value inside where I need to soften a bit. Just thinking around the forms here, softening this edge around the leg. Just mix this in a bit, and here too strong. A little bit of texture. So I get a bit of texture because this is denim. Has more texture. I'm going to just come across here. A bit stripy there. That's going to need rescuing. That big area is going to need rescuing. Okay, well let's come over this and see what if we get another. So we can soften another mid-tone. Get rid of these stripes a bit. And I'm just going to get a lighter value again. So let's try this. Be sparing with this. Around these knee shapes, a little bit on these. What do you call those? Ripples. I think I'm gonna leave it about there. That works. Right, we had this very light value. I need to pick this grey now and mix a light value. I don't want a lot of, there's not a lot of shape on here. I might have a little bit of shape under the bust, but not a lot. A little bit of shadowing on this side. And what was in here? So the same in here maybe. Maybe we're going to get a little bit darker on this far side. This hat. But I'm going to pulling down into the darkest, kind of black, but I suppose I'm keeping a little bit of this colour in it because why not? Colour's good. stripes on this. It's almost the only area pattern. Something like that. It's going to go right down into the black there. Say right down. I could have gone darker. And I'm going to pick just that lighter value. Create a little lighter drop on. It's like there's a fold there. Because again, a lighter one again. That kind of works, I think. I think that's about it. Just a little simple sketch today. Just saving it. Let's go on the background. Let's just unlock that. Actually, I won't unlock it. I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to go with this value, I think. Get a brush. I'm going to pull up my brush. And just create a little bit of texture behind it. Pull this down. I'm going to cut my with the lasso tool, which you can see what if you're not sure, I've clicked it there, and I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to paste it. Hopefully, what did I do then? Oh, I was sort of cutting the wrong layer. Hang on a sec. Lasso tool was on this level. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to paste it on. I'll paste it on my rough layer. Paste it. Let me just move it. Oh, let me move that. Paste. Let's move this. Let's get it off the rough drawing. Really, really quick. Just so I've got them. That's great. Oh, I did it on a separate layer, it doesn't really matter. Getting fumbling about there. Right. I think that's finished. Thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. It's another little sketch. Check out our website and our YouTube and our Instagram, turnipstarfish.co.uk. Just look for Turnip Starfish and you'll find us. Cool guys, take care. Bye bye.